You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
Alright, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackson, and not so happy, I guess, Sunday night. It's Sunday night after the Dodgers lost the World Series. They just lost 3-1 to the Boston Red Sox in pretty anticlimactic fashion. I'll get to the Dodgers shortly, but like I said, it's just not a very happy Sunday for your boy. Not a very good happy weekend for your boy, at least as far as sports goes. Like I said, the Dodgers just lost the World Series in pretty, like I said, not fun fashion. On top of that, the Raiders lost today in equally as disappointing and yucky fashion. At least the Rams won, that's cool too. Clippers won, that's good. But Lakers blew another game. Game that they should have won on Saturday. And on top of that, all of my fantasy teams lost. So, like I said, not a whole lot to talk about here. Not a whole lot to be happy about. But like I said, I'm just going to quickly go through everything just to kind of get it all off my chest. Like I said, it's starting with the Dodgers. It's pretty freaking frustrating, A lot of people thought, that the Dodgers had a good chance. Me being one of them. They had a lot of issues. Going into the postseason, or going into the late stretch of the postseason, kind of like I said, went on that really great run to, save face and kind of mask all those issues. The bullpen being one of them, the lack of inconsistent hitting being another one of them, or lack of consistent hitting being another one of them. And like I said, that's essentially what came back and bit them in the ass. That's what got them. A lot of people very, very, very upset with Dave Roberts and the way that he managed the games in this World Series. Like I said, this is nothing new. Dodger fans have been very upset with Dave Roberts in the past, questioning a lot of his moves, questioning when he should have pulled somebody, whether he should or not should have pulled somebody, questionable lineups, blah, 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 all that stuff. And like I said, it's all hindsight now, hindsight 2020. All we can do, what happened. It's very sad. Very, very shitty. Like I said, especially considering we went back again, and couldn't get it done this time. Last year, I think last year was more of a gut punch because the Dodgers played so well. They played so well and just ran into a buzzsaw that was the Houston Astros, a team that just clicked on all cylinders at the right time. And I think what made, this one, it wasn't as much of like a gut punch, like I said, the feeling was we had it in our grasp and we lost, or like I said, the better team just it came down to the wire and the better team beat us. And we're like, all right, at least we went toe to toe. We gave them our best against the Astros last year. Went 7 games down to the effing wire. This year was completely different. Just the 4 letters I never ever ever want to hear again ever are RISP, runners in scoring position, because the Dodgers, like I said, I don't have the full stats in front of me right now. I got just whatever, but I just decided to look it up real quickly on MLB Baseball of all things, and I'm too lazy to do all the math and try to calculate the total team with average runners in scoring position, but Puig did well. Obviously, hats off to Puig. He played so well when a lot of guys just needed to step up and couldn't step up. Puig definitely showed up. Freeze showed up. Fucking Walker Buehler showed the fuck up. And you know, just couldn't get any production from anywhere else. And it's a team effort, not just three guys. Like I said, Puig hit 455 at runners in scoring position. But other than that, it's just all downhill from there. Justin Turner, 286, excuse me. That's a huge drop off. Manny Machado, 267. I'm surprised it's even that, considering how many times Manny Machado, grounded into a double play, struck out, horribly and feebly, and stuff like that. But, David Freese, again, 250 with him. Matt Kemp, Matt Muncy, Peterson, all hitting 250. Austin Barnes, 200. Dozier, 200. Bellinger, the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, of the postseason, other than Kershaw. 167 average with runners in scoring position, and then a big 0 from Grandal, who was, like I said, is just in a whole nother level, a whole nother level of disappointment. 0 from Grandal, 0 average of runners in scoring position from Kike, and 0 average runners in scoring position from Taylor. Like I said, just very, very, very frustrating, very depressing, very sad, and it's just. It's just the same thing people have been asking me, and I've, just from outside of this and all that, like whether it's at work, just friends or whatever, talking and stuff, and, it's just the Dodgers, it's just anything. They're going to live by the philosophy, and they're going to die by it as well. It's very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a struggle, It's a struggle as a fan, because we see that this philosophy hasn't won us the World Series, in the last 2 years in a row, at least in the World Series, and it hasn't really, like, it failed in, like, dramatic fashion, like, failed miserably, and especially this year on an embarrassing level. Like, this was an embarrassing World Series for the Dodgers. But at the same time, that same philosophy that they have, that they trust in, is what got us to the 2 World Series in a row, and what's given us 6 NL West titles in a row, and gotten us to the playoffs even more times than that. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of notes right now. Like I said, I'm trying to make this quick, or as quick as possible. But it's just, like I said, it's very frustrating. I just feel, like I said, embarrassed. I feel sad, And, like I said, I'm just, like, out of energy to complain about it, like, full on. But, like, it's the same old shit I've been saying, like, all week long to all my friends and people that have asked me and stuff, It's just, you live by the long ball, you're going to die by the long ball. Or when you don't hit it, And I'm from the philosophy, just me personally, the way, because being someone that played baseball my entire life, I would have fit perfectly when I played in this philosophy of of baseball, where I was the big guy, hit the long ball, all that, swung for the fences a lot, and then launch angle, and I played before launch angle was a thing, and, like, launch angle, wanted to go, like, the long chicks dig the long ball, all that bullshit, whatever. But at the same time, it's like you have to know that situational baseball wins games just as much as hitting home runs do, And I know there's all that bullshit, the 3 true results of an at bat, and there's all these other different numbers and all this other shit and all the situational things, right, and whatever. But like I said, at a certain point, it's like, okay, like I don't even know how many times I said, if I have to see the Dodgers hit one more fucking fly ball on a pitch that they should get their hands on top of and either drive into the ground and make the infield make a play, or they should at least try to hit a line drive into a gap, find a hole, do something to get guys on base, because that's where they didn't do that. That's what the Red Sox did. That's what the Brewers did to them, And it's just so fucking frustrating that they would not do that. And on top of that, they were so stubborn and stuck in their ways offensively. But on the pitching side of things, Dave Roberts was willing, or Dave Roberts or Friedman or whoever was pulling the string or calling the shots or whatever, was willing to change things up. How many times? It's very rare that Kenley Jansen comes in to have to get 6 outs. Comes in the eighth inning to get 6 outs. blew it in the first, blew it 2 nights ago, or blew it last night in the 8th inning, blew it again, and then blew it again, or blew it. What was it? Game? Sorry, I'm just all over now. Blew it in Game 3, and then did it again in Game 4, and then in Game 4, Baez. They said Baez wasn't even available, and I know that if you're a long time listener to this, you know how critical I've been of Baez in the past. But this year, he actually produced very well, and he came through when they needed to. Obviously, tonight he gave up a home run, and that didn't look good. But he was. It's just they had the starter, the setup man, the closer. That's the formula that for the most part the Dodgers used before they got to Kenley, and to decide to change it in the World Series when they decided to change that approach in the World Series, when they wouldn't change the batting approach, when all they needed to do was just get base hits. That's all we need is just get guys on base. And every time that the guys got on base, something happened. Every time people got on base, something happened. And even if it didn't happen at the time, it gives your team a chance. It just gives them a chance. When guys are on, it makes the defense have to make a play. It's something my dad used to say when he would coach me, and I've heard other coaches say. I've heard when I watch MLB Network, and I've seen all these different things. You got to get guys on base, and you got to put the ball in play, and you got to make the defense make it. You got to put pressure on the defense because as we saw in the 18-inning game, it's never over until you know what I mean. Because a routine play like the play that Kinsler could have made or should have made, something like that can happen. That's baseball. That's the way it goes. That's just sports. That's baseball. For real baseball fans, like that is baseball. Something happens, like that shit happens. When Kinsler was getting squirrely on the base path, you know what I mean, and then ended up getting thrown out at home. Eventually, that ball will find you, and it will make you have to make a play and make up for it. And Kinsler got his cleat caught, and it just something crazy shit happens in baseball. But you have to set yourself up for success in order for that to happen. And just giving easy fly balls to these outfielders, and especially one of the best defensive outfield in baseball, in the Red Sox, you're just giving them the win. They essentially just gave them. I think I saw something where it said about like Puig. They asked Puig about the series, and he just said, and I think that the guy translated from what Puig answered in Spanish was, he said, pretty much in a nutshell, he said, they did things good, but they could have done a lot more things better, and essentially they made the series easier for them, and it's just, I don't know, that's essentially it. That was it in a nutshell. They just made it easier for the Red Sox, who, again, I said it before on Monday, they're the best team in baseball for a reason. And like I said, everyone saw it. This is, from top to bottom, one of the most impressive seasons I've ever seen. I got to tip the old cap to the Red Sox there. They had a hell of a series. They struggled a little bit in the beginning, but like I said, they got it together. They were the better team. Alex Cora, really got those guys motivated. Got those guys, just had them ready to go. And another thing that I don't think I just kind of thought about the whole time and never really thought of it out loud or whatever, but just the vibe didn't feel right for the Dodgers. Something felt off. The vibe wasn't there. They didn't feel like they were energized a lot, and all that. And it felt like the only way to get energized for them was to actually when good things happen, as opposed to always having a PMA the entire time and wanting to, that kind of thing. So the vibe just didn't feel right. I don't know what's going on. It led to, like I said, and in my opinion, an embarrassing World Series loss, and a lot of questions for the Dodgers going forward. A lot of questions. Like I said, this is the second year in a row that they've lost the World Series, with this same philosophy that they're using, trusting the stats, trusting the numbers, a very, very, very stats-heavy influence on their decision-making. And I'm getting this question a lot. I'm doing, it's just I don't know. I just felt like doing it, but I'm doing an Instagram live as well with this. And my cousin just asked me on this, what are my personal feelings about Dave Roberts? And it's funny because I had to I had to go to In and Out after that game to just try and somehow find a way to ease the pain. And a lot of very sad Dodger fans there, talking with some people. The biggest question is, what do you feel about Dave Roberts going forward? And like I mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, right now that I'm talking about, a lot of criticism from Dave Roberts for the decisions that he's made. Yesterday's game when he pulled Rich Hill early, or did or didn't, there's that whole thing going on. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about all that, whether or not he pulled him or not, or Rich Hill came out, blah blah blah, whatever. There's that, and then on top of that, he did. That's the issue. The same thing why they lost. I think like Game 2 of the World Series last year when they pulled Rich Hill too early. Again, questionable lineup decisions. Leaving out some of the best hitters, even though, like I said, they had been slumping. Like Bellinger wasn't in the starting lineup today, but he's been slumping, like I mentioned before. And what else is there? The types of relievers, the different relievers that he brings in. Whether he should have let Kenley Jansen be out there to get 6 outs, or whether they should have brought in Baez. Bringing in relievers for just 1 out, like shit like that. When it's like, when on the opposite end, the Red Sox are leaving a guy in there, like a guy like Nathan Eovaldi in the 18 inning game, who fucking hell, what a hell of a fucking performance by him to just essentially go out there and pitch a whole game. And that kind of stuff, I'm, as much as like I said, I'm trying to like keep this as condensed as possible, but I know numbers are great and they help, make decision making and stuff like that. But what helped, the main thing that I think should be taken from this World Series is anytime people argue stats, or having a strictly statistical approach to any kind of, not just baseball, but any sport, but doing that, like I said, using a statistical-based, data-based, analytics-based, whatever-based approach to making your decisions versus, I don't know, I can't think of the right term right now, but it's like old school baseball, what the people say, but just, having a feel for the game, trusting your gut, trusting your instincts, using old, not necessarily like just basing it off of like, home runs or RBIs per average and just like that, but just like trusting your gut, having a feel for the game. That's the main thing, is having a feel for it and not just being a robot, saying, oh, when it's this situation, we have to do this. Like, that doesn't, like I said, didn't work for the Dodgers for last. Like I said, it got them to the World Series, but it failed miserably for two years in a row in the World Series. And Alex Cora just had the better feel for the game, had made the right calls. Like I said, he trusted his instinct, trusted his gut, made the right calls. And just something like, there's still something, like I said, they always say that old baseball pitching records will never be broken, just based on the way that the game is played now, where they do pitch count, all that stuff. And the Dodgers are an example of that. They, like I said, they ran Rich out early. He only threw like 80-something pitches. Could have kept going, possibly. Who knows? Pulled them early, cost the Dodgers. Like I said, it happened on multiple occasions. Happened on multiple occasions in this postseason. Happened on multiple occasions in this World Series. When the Red Sox just left Eovaldi in there and he just nutted the fuck up on short rest and pitched his ass off, there's something to that. That fires your team. That fires your team up. That motivates your team to. They're like, listen, this guy's out here fucking grinding right now. He's doing his best to help us get this championship. I gotta step up too. And we saw that in the 18-inning game for the first part with Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler was pitching his ass off. He was pitching his ass off. And could barely get any help, and then finally he ended up getting help later on. But like I said, it's just, I don't know if it's just, like I said, because that philosophy, I don't know, I want to say energizes, but de-energizes the locker room, because I don't feel that vibe, because that's never been the whole length with Kershaw, which is another topic. When these guys are pitching their asses off, the vibe isn't like, what I mean, like that. You should feel how you talked to a lot of the guys after. I think Chris Porcello had a great quote where he's like that made him want to cry, and it was just so dramatic and so like I was so emotional watching Eovaldi go out there and do what he did that it motivated everybody to want to win. And like I said, they didn't win that game, but they went on. They won the next game. It fired the rest of the team up for the next game, and obviously to want to win the entire thing. But when I don't feel that from the Dodgers. Now I could be wrong, but I have watched a lot of Dodger games, and I have noticed that anytime Kershaw, as good as he's been, I'm not breaking any news here, should be better. He should have better stats. He should have more wins. But for how many times Kershaw's gone out there and given up 2 or less runs, and the Dodgers can't even score 1 because they're just doing pop flies, grounding in a double play, shit like that, not getting guys on. It's just, like I said, how many times that happened? I don't know. Like I said, if it's the philosophy, if it's a whatever it is, but that seems to happen more times than not. And the Dodgers just didn't, like I said before, they didn't seem to be full on motivated. It didn't seem that way. I'm sure they were. It's the World fucking Series. But it didn't feel like that. It felt like the Red Sox had all the momentum, all the mojo, all that shit, all whatever you want to talk about it, all that stuff. It felt like they had it. Felt like the Dodgers didn't have it. And essentially they, they beat themselves up. They beat the Red Sox ended up being the better team, but the Dodgers beat themselves. And the sad part is they left stuff on the field. They left a ton of runs on the field. They left a lot of fielding plays on the field. They left a lot of shit on the field. And that sucks. Like I said, because we didn't. I think that's what it is now that I'm speaking it out and stuff. That the Dodgers just, it's so shitty because, like I said, they could have done better and they should have done better and they didn't. And we didn't see the best version of this team like what we saw at the end of the regular season where guys were just hitting the ball everywhere. And like I said, that's a credit to how good the Red Sox have been, but and how great the Red Sox were. But like I said, it just really sucks. And back to the Dave Roberts thing. A lot of people want him out. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know. I think I saw his contract's up, and the team's gonna have to make a decision. But the only thing is, he's just following orders. And I don't want, like I said, I don't have for lack of a better term, he's essentially out there just doing what he's told. This is the philosophy they want to run with a statistics and analytics based approach to the game. And he's just making decisions based off these numbers and based off that stuff. Because that's what Andrew Friedman and what's his name, Farad, whatever his name is, the other guy that's doing all the other analytics guy up in the front office. That's the way they want this team ran. So everyone that's calling for Dave Roberts to be fired, if he gets fired, they're just gonna probably bring somebody else in that's gonna be the same. It's gonna be more of the same because, like I said, it's not necessarily Dave Roberts' fault, even though he's the punching bag and stuff like that. But they're probably gonna bring in someone else to do this. It's gonna be more of the same thing, no matter who is the skipper of the team. I personally like Dave Roberts. I really, really do. There's so many times that he's bailed us out because he knows the game so much that he's challenged plays. He's asked for reviews. He's gone out there and argued and made arguments like for or against things because, like I said, he just knows the games. He knows the rules and all that. And there's been countless times where he saved us for stuff like that. But at the same time, he has made some questionable calls. But like I said, I don't know if it's fully him doing that or if he's just following the script and following orders from what the Dodgers front office wants. So it's very frustrating. I don't know what they're going to do with Dave Roberts, and I don't know what they're going to do with Clayton Kershaw. He can opt out of this contract if he wants to in like a few days. And there's a lot of talk that he might. There's a lot of talk that the Dodgers are willing to move on from him. And like I said, I posted a couple tweets about it, but Clayton Kershaw, arguably the greatest pitcher in my lifetime that I've seen so far, in my lifetime that I can remember. I saw Pedro when I was a kid, I saw El Duque, I saw like the end part of Randy Johnson. I didn't see the good parts of Randy Johnson, I saw the end parts of Randy Johnson, but I knew he was very good. Saw the end parts of Roger Clemens, who else is there? I'm trying to think off the top right now. Like I said, he's seen peak Johan Santana, seen a lot of guys, like really good players, really good pitchers, especially being a pitcher myself when I was younger, like studying them and watching them really, trying to study, like figure out what it was. I had never seen anything like Clayton Kershaw. We're just so dominant. Where, making professional baseball players look stupid, look silly, and look just lost out there. Could not figure him out. Could not hit his fastball. Could not hit that curveball, and all that. And statistically, and just with the eye test, Clayton Kershaw, best pitcher I've ever seen in my lifetime. Probably the best pitcher of this generation. But, and I hate to use the but this postseason, and specifically this Game 5, we officially have to, anytime we talk about Clayton Kershaw and his greatness and his legacy and everything about him and how tremendous of a player he is, it has to be regular season only. It has to be. It can only be regular season. You cannot mention the postseason. It's only regular season. And that really sucks because he's so good, but he's always going to have this asterisk on it next to his name forever, and that fucking sucks. But at the same time, he like I said, I'm not trying to like be a Kershaw hater or anything, because I fucking love Kersh. But he, like I said, not obviously not on his level, but as a pitcher himself, as a pitcher, he earned and deserves all the criticism that he's getting, because when he's out there, it's just him. As a pitcher, that's what you get. Like I said, it's you get all the glory, but you also get a lot of the blame. You got to take all the blame too. And like I said, he deserves all the criticism that he gets, because we've seen it. Like I said, there's enough of a sample size here where, I hate to bring it all up and stuff like that, but the numbers don't lie. The eye test definitely doesn't lie. As far as watching all these postseason collapses and lack of production from Kershaw, it's like it's a real thing, and it sucks. And like I said, it really, really sucks. But like I said, you have to be, as much as a Dodger fan as I am, I have to be fair. And it's all deserved. It's all deserved. So like I said, he has a decision to make. I don't know what he's going to do. I had heard like some chatter and stuff that he might opt out to go find something somewhere. There's a lot of stuff that he might go to the Rangers. He's from Texas. He loves being from Texas. They're pretty irrelevant right now. They're going through some woes. And adding a guy like Kershaw to their team would be great. Like I said, it would be great for the team, because he's still got it. He's still good. He's obviously not what he was before, but he's still good. And it would also help boost, ticket sales, PR. It's great for them, good, the homecoming kind of shit, whatever. They can do all that. It'd be good for him. It takes a lot of pressure off the Dodgers cap as well, because Kershaw makes a lot of money. And whatever he does, I just hope that he thinks long and hard about it, and it's the right decision for him. I still think he's got some left in the tank, and I would love for him to shake off these cobwebs and get rid of that stigma as a Dodger. Like I said, it's just sad that it has to happen, but it happened. I don't know I don't know what Kershaw is going to do. I don't know what Dave Roberts is going to do. I don't know what the team is going to do going forward. I don't know if Manny Machado's coming back. I'm pretty sure Manny Machado's not going to come back. Another sleeper contender for big disappointment, Manny Machado. He's going to get paid from. I hope that the Dodgers can trade him, at least try to get something for him, if they can. If not, whatever. If he walks, he can walk. We'll roll the dice with Corey Seager. But yeah, going forward, it's like I said, a lot of questions for the Dodgers, and just a tough loss. Very, very tough. Very disappointing. Like I said, I just feel so deflated, as you can tell in the tone of my voice. It just sucks. I think mainly it sucks because, like I said, we just didn't get, not necessarily, of course it sucks to lose, but that just, it's not, again, I always harken back to it for all the long-time listeners that know, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Like I said, it's not that the Dodgers lost. Like I said, the Dodgers lost last year too, but it sucked, but it didn't seem as bad because, like I said, The Astros were clearly the better team, a more talented roster, and from head to toe, and just very, very good. But the Dodgers took it to them, toe to toe, to Game 7, the very last, down to the wire. But this time it wasn't. It wasn't that at all. So many missed opportunities. So many runs. So many everything just left on the field, and it was just very deflating. Because it's like I said, you know that it could have been better. You know that it should have been better, but it wasn't. And like I said, I don't know what I don't know what they're going to do going forward. It's still way too early. Like I said, the game just ended a few hours ago, so yeah, like I said, it sucks. It really fucking sucks. But like I said, all we can do is just move on. We're gonna get Seager back next year. Hopefully he'll be able to come right back in the starting lineup and help be productive again. Hopefully the Tommy John isn't a hindrance, and affects his play, and he's like I said, come back, pick up where he left off. Hopefully these guys can fix their swings, fix their bats, because they went missing big time in the last in this World Series. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of work to do. Very upset, very sad, but like I said, it happened, and all we can do is just move on from it. But again, the Dodgers did lose the World Series today, 3-1 to the Red Sox, and also again just the old tip of the cap to the Red Sox. They were the best team in baseball all year long, and they finished the season the best team in baseball. So pretty good for them. But yeah, enough Dodger talk. I talked about it way too long. Not gonna really go through much else here. NFL scores or whatever. Like I said, I was super hungover this morning. Had a cool Halloween party last night, and didn't get a chance to see all the games. I saw some highlights and stuff like that. But for the most part, things played out the way I thought they would. Chiefs won, they beat the Broncos. Steelers won, they beat the Browns. You know what I mean? Panthers took it to the Ravens in a good game. Bengals won, you know what I mean? Bears took care of the Jets. Giants lost again. Cardinals, Niners, for the longest time that I saw the score was 3-5, that's got to be a record for one of the funniest scores I've ever seen. But eventually the Cardinals pulled out the win somehow. Rams again, like I said, got the win. Got very, very lucky with that win. Shout out to Ty Montgomery for fumbling the kickoff return and not giving Aaron Rodgers a chance to score. And bye, Roger, as YG would say. Pack went home with a loss. But the fucking Raiders, man. Oh, these fucking Raiders. You guys know how upset I was with them if you listen to Monday's episode. And gave up 42 points to the fucking Colts. Like, how embarrassing is that? That's pretty fucking bad. And I know they had, another same fucking thing. They came out hot, took advantage. They did their thing in the first half, but just didn't. After the second half, the other team made adjustments, and they didn't, and they paid for it. And Andrew Luck tore them apart in the fourth quarter, or the third and fourth quarter. Their running back, Mack, or whatever his name is, ran all over him. Again, like I said, not like it's the hardest thing to do against the Raiders defense. But, yeah, man. Like I said, the Raiders just 42-28 at home, too, they lost. Very, very sad. Very. Speaking of embarrassing, very embarrassing. But like I said, that's just, hey, man, listen, they're throwing the towel in this year, so get used to it, Raider fans, I guess. I guess tickets are going to be cheap going forward to going to games, because I definitely want to go to another one, sit in the black hole this time, and maybe cry after they lose. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, that's not much other. The Chargers had a bye for the home teams. We got the Battle of the Bay next week on Thursday. Or this week, I guess now, technically this week, on Thursday with the Raiders-Niners. Hopefully no one gets hurt on the field and in the stands. Hopefully nobody gets hurt there. Chargers take on the Seahawks next week, and the Rams on the road against the Saints. Now, the Rams do have a legit shot at going undefeated in the regular season. This is the tough stretch that they had to get through. Going through the Packers, the Saints, Where's the next one? I remember they had another tough game. Seahawks, not as much, but still tough. Division matchup is always tough. And where's the other one? Oh, and then Chiefs in week 11. What's another Chiefs week 11? That's gonna be very tough. And again, that's probably going to be the Super Bowl matchup. That's probably going to be the Super Bowl preview. So get ready for that Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Rams, because that's, like I said, we're probably going to be seeing that game twice. Then there's that, and I think they're on a bye after that. But yeah, this is the stretch where it's going to get tough for the Rams. Like I said, after that, it looks like it should be pretty smooth sailing for them. And like I said, if they can get through this stretch with undefeated, or they can win these next 3 games, like I said, they got a legit shot at going undefeated, going in the playoffs. But so there's that to look forward to. There's supposed to be it was the LA Sports Armageddon is what they were calling it. It was just the sports bonanza thing in LA all day today, on today being Sunday. There was the Rams game, obviously. Then the Clippers played. The Kings had a game. The Galaxy were playing. Who else was playing? Dodgers, obviously, duh. But like I said, it was all crazy, and it was just could have been a good day. Should have been a much better day. Would have been, it's just like I said, all kind of sad that the Dodgers lost, but like I said, Rams won at home, that was great. Clippers won at home. Let me see. Let me look up the Kings and the did the Kings win? I'm looking it up right now. Kings won? Hell yeah, what the fuck? Kings won. What about the Galaxy? Doing this live right now. Galaxy lost. It's okay. Not a lot of people care about them anymore anyway. But yeah, that happened. And then, like I said, fantasy, just wrapping it on fantasy, lost in both my leagues. I gave up 138 points, my opponent scored 138 points in my friend's league, 140 in the family league, and then I lost 7 categories to 2 in my basketball league. And so, like I said, it's just not a fun overall sports week for your boy. So, like I said, glad it's over. But listen, it's just sports. It's nothing, At the end of the day, outside of that, life is good right now for me. So happy about that. And just like I said, we can put it all behind us. Let's move forward, and that's all we can do. Just keep on keeping on. So that's gonna do it for me for this episode. I know I rambled a little bit more than I wanted to, but like I said, it's just still sucks, still hurts right now. So I'm probably gonna sign off and finish my my vodka infused pink lemonade from In-N-Out, and then try to hit the hay while I get ready for the next week. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for everyone who tuned in on Instagram Live. Don't think I didn't see you. I saw all you guys. Big love. And like always, if you like what you heard, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that bullshit. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcast, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. Like I said, I'm working on trying to get on like the other fancy podcast things like Art19 and shit like that. So I'm working on that. Follow along on the socials as well. Instagram, Twitter. Those are the main ones I'm on, but I also got a Facebook and a Tumblr if you're old and still use those. And at Brown Mamba Radio, Brown Mamba, JXCKSXNNN, that's 3 N's for the personal stuff. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. So, like I said, it's a tough day for your boy, but like I said, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. It's a new week, so go out there and let's get this motherfucking bread. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, don't just have a good week, make it a good week. Don't forget to drink more water. It's health is wealth. And please, everybody, please, with all the other stuff that's been going on outside of sports, please just be nice to each other, because it is so easy to be nice. It is so easy to be nice. And don't forget to get out there and vote. That's another thing we can do. Get out there and vote. And again, go out there and make the most out of your week. Let's get this motherfucking bread. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.